This is Alan Björn from Solstafir, and you are watching, wait for it, The Offering.
So it's been a while, but you're finally back touring in North America. How is this experience?
It's been great. It's been what, 3 years since the last tour here.
Wow.
So yeah, we came here touring the Oath album. It's been 3 years. It's been awesome. We are doing bigger clubs now with of course 30th anniversary of Paradise Lost, and so the clubs are greater. And I mean this club here is the House of Blues Chicago is just one of the best I've ever seen. So yeah, so it's going really good.
So you will come back more often?
Of course. Well, it's not really in our control.
Right.
If people don't show up to the gigs, we can't come back. So if people show up, of course we return. People don't show up, no, I'm back home working on the forklift. So you know.
No, they will show up.
Yeah, it's been good, yeah.
And your latest album, Bird Dreamin', was released last year. How do you feel about this album now?
Well, it's I look at it a bit differently than because we've been playing half the album live. The other half we have not played live, and the half that we have songs. A band is like a living entity, so songs they're living creatures as well. So they've changed a little bit. I think we are doing them better now live than they are on the album, just because they were so new when we were recording them, and we had never played them live. So it's like an athlete in better shape. So the songs are like ready to go to the Olympics now. So they were just in training camp back then. So yeah, it's we still have to sort of learn to play the second half of the album live. But so far, it's we have having fun playing the first half.
And when you started writing this album, did you know right away how you wanted it to sound?
No. It's never been like that. It's very much of let's just dive into this pool and see how it goes. I've always said it's making a new album. It's like 3 years between.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you would go to the desert with a GPS tracker on your back, a huge GPS tracker on your back, and you just walk through the desert and go, through the mountains and forests and all that kind of shit. You come back after 3 years, and you take this huge GPS tracker that you had on your back, and you plug it into a printer, and it prints out where the hell you've been, and you'll see it all in like 3D and stuff. So that's the album. So you don't know if you're gonna go into the desert. So the desert in this is life itself. So we don't know what's gonna happen. So how the album's gonna sound. Gringo might buy a new guitar pedal, so it's gonna have a little bit of effect. So we never know.
So at what point you were completely happy with the album?
At what point? Usually when we're mixing it, because it's always the same. I remember, I can go back years. When we were doing Svarte Sandar in 2010, I think, I thought it's not as good as the last one. And then we started mixing it and sort of breathing the album. Then I sort of, it's the same. When we're playing this album live now, of the songs that we do, then I feel it's a really strong stuff that we're doing. So yeah.
And in terms of lyrics, did you have a particular idea or inspiration?
About what?
The lyrics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a particular concept in mind?
Well, yeah, there is a little bit of a particular theme. I don't like really using themes because it's sort of preconceived, but well, it's a lot of it is about addiction and depression and all the mental disorders. The one song is about domestic violence, when someone tells the story about a domestic violence situation, it's gonna really affect you if you know the person. One song is about an avalanche that killed a lot of people in the West Fjords of Iceland over 20 years ago. So it's a lot of it. It's mental illness and all sort of insanity and darkness and death and yeah.
And is there a song that feels particularly meaningful to you in terms of lyrics?
Probably Bláfjall. I guess so. Yeah, the last song. We always play that now. Yeah.
And do you think you will continue to write in Icelandic?
I don't know. I guess so. When we started this band, we were using Icelandic. Then around 1999 or 2000, we sort of started using English.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did 2 albums in English. Then we sort of went back to Icelandic, and we're still there. So we might do something in English, I don't know. Right now we were really comfortable with using Icelandic.
And in all these years, over 20 years I think now, how has your music evolved?
It has evolved a lot.
Right.
But still, hold on. Gonna be a long answer. Still not really. I mean, it's still us writing stuff on distorted guitars. We have some keyboard stuff. We have heavy drums and big reverbs and all that. So the little heavy metal kid in me thinks that we're still a metal band because we come from that background. But obviously we're not your classical metal band. We're not like Judas Priest or any other metal band. I think the biggest thing is probably the vocals. Sort of, I quit screaming all the time, went into singing more clearly. That's probably the biggest thing that has changed. If I would be screaming completely all the time, I guess people would say that we've changed not so much. Well, obviously some to a certain level, but things, you discover new music directions, you discover new bands, you have a child, you lose a loved one, you move to a different country. All the stuff that happens to you in life will of course affect you. And when we were starting this band, I was mostly listening to Darkthrone. Today I listen more to Neil Young than Darkthrone. But we've never abandoned anything. I still listen to Darkthrone and a lot of metal music. But so our influences, they're getting wider and more. They used to be more narrow and fewer. So we will always expand. It's all about expanding, going sort of trying out new things without really trying them, just doing new things. There are no rules. Sometimes we ask ourselves, oh, that's a really stupid idea. We can't do that because people would not like it. And we say, oh, fuck off. We do it because we want to, and usually the most stupid ideas are the best ones.
And thinking about when you started, what made you decide to become a musician?
That of course goes a little bit before. I was in death metal bands ever since I was like 14 years old. I don't know, it's just I have no idea. It just, we knew, I mean, me and my friends, we were never into football and anything like that. It was just, I got my dad's old bass. My dad had this old bass and another friend of mine had an old guitar from his dad, and we just started writing riffs. It was the only thing that, nothing else came close.
And today, what do you think motivates you most to continue creating music?
To create music?
Yeah.
Sort of the creation of creating something, just being in the studio, for example, trying to come up with some magic that and working with people. We work a lot together, and we like to work with people that are so close to us. then of course is another chapter is being here, touring with your band. It's a certain it's a different thing. But playing your own music, and you have people in the front like this. It's priceless, because there's so much in a trance, and you can't fuck with it. It's sort of a holy moment. You know, people might be having goosebumps, or they lost their parents, and they tell us that, or they write to us, you know, and it sort of gets beyond my imagination, because if I would meet James Hetfield or someone, I don't have that connection with my favorite bands. I was going through hard times and you helped me. I don't have that connection. I have different connections. So when people are telling you such things, it goes to a strange point, some strange place in your heart. So that's one thing. I mean, you get so much back, and when you're really just trying to satisfy yourself by writing music that you like, so you get kind of a weird rewards for it from people. You know.
And obviously you're one of the most famous bands from Iceland right now, but there are so many. Why you think all of a sudden so many rock metal bands are starting to come out of there?
I think there's always been a lot of bands. It depends on if a certain territory is in the spotlight.
Right.
Some years ago, there was not a spotlight on Iceland. We were hoping it would be spotlight. When there's spotlight, more bands will come along. But now, the quality is higher now. There's a lot of quality bands. Some will quit, some will go further. It's not, I don't know, bands being active that long. A lot of bands die. But now I think there's less bullshit. They see that bands that it's easier to get abroad. When we were starting, it was quite hard. We didn't go abroad until after we had been active for like 8 years. Yeah. And that was sort of like a normal. If you would form a band today and not go abroad for 8 years, that would be considered weird. So times have changed. I mean, Sweden had spotlight on the death metal back in the day. Norway had black metal. Finland has a lot of Viking metal and sort of weird stuff. Germany is like the kingdom. You know, Germany is the thing. So Iceland has never had a spotlight on it. Maybe it's to do with tourism has increased in Iceland. Yeah. So there's more spotlight coming from a sort of different perspective, different point of view. It's more in how do you explain it? People see it more because it's a lot of people are going there, and it's more spotlight, more focus, and you know.
What do you think about the music industry that is also changing so much?
I love it. No one's buying albums, and you can just get it for free, and you know, it's great. I'm making a lot of money. I got paid from Spotify the other day, $50,000.
So basically, you wish everything would be different.
No, I mean, of course, I didn't get $50,000 from Spotify. No bands get that. Even our cameraman is laughing. It's weird. We sort of never were in the status of getting money for record sales. But I know that if today, the year was 1990, we would sort of be making a nice living off the band.
Yeah.
Compared to, where the band is today. We're quite active, we tour a lot, and we know what we're drawing into clubs and all that. But you have to be constantly on the road, touring, to, you know, make a living from it. And there's a lot of competition, because we're not the only band that has to go out there. All the bands have to tour more. And But I mean, what can you do? It's a weird time that we're in, because I grew up. My first sort of album that I got was a cassette, Michael Jackson, Thriller, and I remember the first CD I bought, and the first when I bought Morbid Angel, Blessed of the Sacred vinyl, my first vinyl. That's sort of gone away. I mean, vinyl is back up. It's like I don't know 1 or 3% of total sales or whatever. CDs are totally gone. Even the cars don't have CD players anymore. It's weird. I mean, I use Spotify a lot. It's great. It's just strange that all of a sudden internet companies are making all the money. Not the artists, not the record labels, especially the internet companies. So it's something is wrong here.
Yeah, there is no
kinda,
balance.
No, it's something is wrong.
Hopefully it will change.
I don't think it's going to change.
No, it's going to get worse.
I don't think the toothpaste is going back in the tube. No.
Well, do you have other touring plans after this one?
Yes, we go home on 22nd of October, and exactly a month we go back to Europe. When we have another month touring Europe, so we will be home on the 23rd of December.
Okay. And maybe next year another tour.
Yes.
And what about a new album? Are you already thinking about it?
We've thought about it. We don't have songs ready. We have some ideas. We've talked, but we've been touring a lot lately, so we haven't really had time to write songs. So we went to South America, and then we had to write rehearse a different set. Then we have have a stand-in musicians, or you're making music videos, or touring this or with strings and doing a lot of stuff. So we just haven't had time. So, but next year we are gonna make some time and write stuff.
Okay. And what are your expectations for the future of the band?
To make the greatest album that we've ever heard, in our opinion. We like to write music that we like. So we're always trying to outdo the last one. So we that's basically our point.
Enjoy the rest of the tour, and
Thank
you so much for the interview.
Thank you.
I feel